Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
At breaking news in the last hour, we learned Raleigh police are conducting a death investigation. We'll take you out to that scene surrounding a parking garage in downtown.
A shooting in Durham. This morning, we learned a man was killed where investigators have been working since 9:30 last night.
And I'm tracking our next weather maker. It's approaching us. It's likely to bring some showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. I'll walk you through the timeline.
And it is no Pope this morning. The Sistine Chapel chimney showed black smoke just moments ago. What you need to know about the next round of votes coming today. We watched it live as we closed down our 5 a.m. newscast, and it has stopped right now to give you this live look right now. Lots of folks out there in St. Peter's Square taking pictures of everything going on. We're excited to bring you this edition of our 6 a.m. news. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yeah, to see that black smoke coming out, a little perk for being up with us early at this hour. But now, as we begin a 6 o'clock hour, let's check in with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And rain back in the forecast, but we won't see it until later tonight.
That's right. This is a look at our severe weather threat, mainly from I-95 westward. You can see the yellow, the level 2 risk back across the Triad and Charlotte. For us, that level 1 risk means that a few of the storms that pop up could produce some wind damage, but it would be isolated. It's also likely to be fairly late. Now, there's a tiny chance of a shower that could pop up during the evening commute, but most of us won't see that. It's likely to be 8, 9, 10 o'clock before we see a lot of these storms develop, and then they'll continue overnight. The two things that you'll notice this morning: one, more cloud cover. It's still making for a beautiful sunrise here at Carr Lake from the Virginia side, looking, of course, over to the east. You'll also notice that it's warmer, 63 degrees. Yesterday, we were seeing temperatures mostly in the 50s. Our dew point is still fairly low at 57. It's 55 in Roxborough and 66 in Fayetteville, but most of us are seeing low to mid 60s this morning. Mid to upper 70s at lunchtime, and highs will be in the low 80s this afternoon. Tomorrow will bring a better chance for storms during the day. I'll show you the timeline coming up, Ken.
6:02, Elizabeth. Right now, it's a rather quiet start to your morning commute, which is really good news. We nothing but green showing up on our live sensors this morning, which you're getting ready to head out the door this morning. Wherever you're going, as long as it involves our major routes, you will get there on time. Speaking of which, as the sun comes up this morning, we're seeing a live look at I-40 Wade Avenue. Traffic picking up just a bit, but flowing nicely in all directions. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
This morning, the chimney smoke was black at the Sistine Chapel, and that means no pope was decided on in this voting session for the next pope. 2 rounds of voting were held this morning, and now 2 more rounds of voting will be held for the afternoon session, and that will get started around 11:30 a.m. our time. We'll continue to monitor the Vatican for any updates.
And here in the Live Center, obviously, we're also keeping a close eye on all of this. This is what it looks like right now. But if I can bring this back just a little bit to show you, well, this is St. Peter's Square, all the people waiting. But we did have a view of that black smoke when it was coming out. Let's see if I can go back far enough. We did see that black smoke. It came out, there it is, about 5:50 this morning. Cardinals will vote again later today, 11:30 this morning. Of course, if we see that white smoke at 11:30, that means a new pope has been chosen. But if we see the black smoke again, another vote will happen at 1 p.m. our time. Now, if it's still black at 1 p.m., they'll come back tomorrow. They will vote up to 4 times. If no decision is reached, then they'll take a break for prayer and informal discussion for 1 day. So again, we're seeing that black smoke this morning at the Vatican, indicating there is no new pope yet. Another vote will happen again today.
Right now, Raleigh police are conducting a death investigation. This is the scene on Edenton Street in downtown Raleigh. Police tell us this is not a homicide. We will bring you more information about this investigation as we learn more in this newscast.
Also, more breaking news we're following this morning. A man was killed in a shooting that happened on South Benjamin Street in Durham. You see it here on this map. WRAL's Eric Miller is there, and this investigation, Eric, I see it's still active there behind you for nearly 8 hours now.
Jeff, actually more than 8 hours now. Investigators continuing to pour over this scene here on Benjamin Street, just about a block north of Ash Street. You can see officers on scene here, as well as that Durham Police Mobile Command Unit right in the middle of the road. A full block of Benjamin Street here completely sealed off, shut down behind this crime scene tape. within the last couple of hours. We've seen investigators focusing on one home here, going in and out, taking pictures, looking at personal belongings, checking a car out front as well. There's no signs of any damage that we can see, no bullet holes, nothing like that. Officers instead focusing on personal items like phones, pieces of clothing, other things left behind in these homes and these vehicles. You know, the shooting happened right around 9:30 last night. That's when Durham police got the call, rushing out here to this scene. They found one man dead. It's not clear what exactly led up to that shooting. We're still working to learn those details, as well as the name of the man who died here. Also, no word at this point on any suspects or arrests at this time. We'll bring you any updates as soon as we get them. In Durham, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
Work to address cell phone use continues today. The governor's Student Safety Task Force has made this one of its biggest issues. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the group is putting together guidance for school districts all across the state.
The governor's Student Safety Task Force will talk about cell phone policies that could impact your student's school day. Here at Dillard Drive Middle, students are required to keep their phones off and away, except during lunch. Conversations are happening in the state legislature about cell phone policies in schools. This morning, the task force is brainstorming about how to put those policies in action. They're asking questions like, when should students be able to access their phones at school? What tools should schools have to enforce cell phone policies? And should these policies vary based on grade level? Data shows students receive 250 to 400 phone notifications a day at school. William Lassiter from the Department of Public Safety says phones are a distraction in the classroom. He says the less students are on their phones, the better.
All the research shows that this helps with social development of our kids. If they're only relying on their cell phones to message their friends and not actually using their words and reaching out to real people, it actually delays some of their social development.
The task force will meet again later this month. They'll be finalizing a best practices guide about cell phone policies for local school districts. Then they'll have to submit that guide to the governor for approval on June 3rd. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Wake County.
2 men were airlifted to hospitals after a plane crash at the Raleigh Executive Jetport in Sanford. The pilot, Terry Gallagher, was airlifted to UNC in critical condition. The plane's mechanic, Scott Riley, was airlifted to Duke with serious injuries. The Highway Patrol says Gallagher was conducting a touch and go at the time of the crash. A flight instructor was set to land after Gallagher's touch and go and saw the plane crash.
On his way in, I think he caught the left wingtip. So we saw the tip, slightly down, and we saw a bunch of dirt fly up, and then we aborted our landing and went around to see what we could see.
We are working to find out what caused the plane crash.
Rescuers were called to this scene in Johnston County. A car submerged off Cornwallis Road. Sky 5 flew over that scene yesterday afternoon. You can see the staging area on top of the bridge with a raft perched against the wall there. We're trying to get more information about what happened and whether anyone was injured.
A warning from local law enforcement. Scammers are impersonating police officers. The Wake County Sheriff's Office says it is investigating 3 reported cases. The scammers manipulate caller ID. That way, it looks like you're getting a call from a legitimate law enforcement officer. WRAL viewers who've gotten the calls say they were told to pay a fine or that they had a warrant out for their arrest. Sergeant Wallace O'Neill shares the best way to prevent being scammed.
You can always hang up and call the agency directly to see if that person is actually employed by that agency.
Here's the thing. The Wake County Sheriff's Office says they will never ask for money over the phone. And so far, no victims have lost money from the scam calls. We hope it stays that way.
Today's state legislature's self-imposed crossover deadline. That means any bill that has not been passed in at least one chamber will be considered dead until the next legislative session. Our Capitol Bureau folks don't expect too much to happen this morning. Yesterday, the state Senate and House passed a significant number of bills. The House unanimously passed HB 520, a bill that would crack down on telemarketers who display a false local phone number to try to trick people into answering their calls. It would ban networks from selling your number to telemarketers and allow you to sue if they do. Another bill, HB 936, also unanimously passed. This bill is working to curb unwanted advertisements delivered by text or robocall.
The State House passed a resolution that would call for a constitutional convention. A constitutional convention is the way changes can be made to the U.S. Constitution without Congress. 2/3 of the states must call for the convention and agree on the issue to be addressed. This convention would be held to consider adding or changing term limits for members of Congress and other federal officials. The bill does not say which federal officials. It could include just about any of them, including the president, who has talked about a third term, something the current Constitution does not allow. The U.S. has never had a constitutional convention.
In Durham today, you can share your thoughts on how the city spends taxpayer money. The Durham City Council will hear the proposed budget for this year and the capital improvement plan for the next 5 years. Also at today's meeting, the council will consider plans to start construction on North Duke Street right near KinderCare. The construction would improve the walking areas and create a crosswalk at the intersection with Newsom Street. That meeting gets started at 1 o'clock this afternoon.
6:11 now, more protest arrests. Dozens of demonstrators detained at Columbia University. The recent changes at the school as the Trump administration intervenes.
And in the last 20 minutes, we saw black smoke coming right out of that stovepipe there, the Sistine Chapel this morning. As you have this live look, what you need to know about the next rounds of voting for a new pope this morning.
And our next weather maker is sending a few clouds our way, but it may be a while before the rain shows up. I'll show you the timeline for showers and storms today coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:14, that's sunshine coming up over the horizon. A bit more cloud cover than we saw yesterday, but our temperatures are also a little on the warmer side too. At the bus stop this morning, temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 60s, a bit more cloud cover. But you don't have to send your kids out with a raincoat. We're not likely to see any rain until much later on, most likely around or even after dinner time and then into the overnight. Temperatures about the same as they were yesterday. We'll see highs in the low to mid 80s because we're not going to see a whole lot of rain. We'll see those temperatures really warming up. And then do expect those chance for showers right around the time of the evening commute. I have a 20% chance in just to cover the bases, but I think we'll be fairly dry. But then overnight tonight, showers and thunderstorms, and we'll see more of that tomorrow. Coming up, we'll walk through it on Futurecast. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We'll start with this live look at I-40 and Davis Drive. Traffic flowing nicely in all directions. If I-40 West is part of your morning commute, boy, clear sailing, especially if you're coming in from Johnston County Highway 42, and even from Apex, is all good. And coming up, Renee, in the next 5 minutes or so, I'll look at some major routes in the Bull City.
We'll check in with you then. Ken, thank you. A new person is in charge of elections in North Carolina. The elections director was fired at yesterday's meeting. Karen Brinson Bell served in that role since 2019. She was appointed by Governor Roy Cooper. The governor's office no longer oversees this board. Republicans in the legislature took control of the elections board away from the governor's office and gave it to the Republican state auditor, Dave Bolick. The move is being challenged in court.
White House is pulling its support for Dr. Jeanette Nesheiwat to become the next U.S. Surgeon General. Her Senate confirmation hearing was to begin today. In a social media post, President Donald Trump instead is supporting Dr. Casey Means, a wellness influencer with close ties to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Means became a leader in the Make America Healthy Again movement after dropping out of her surgical residency program.
Dozens of demonstrators were once again detained at Columbia University. New York police led the pro-Palestinian protesters out of the university's Butler Library yesterday, their hands zip-tied behind their backs. Authorities say the people arrested did not comply with orders before being taken into custody. This comes as the Trump administration cracks down on what they call harassment of Jewish American students and cuts to federal funding to the school.
The Trump administration has released thousands of additional files on the 1968 John F. Kennedy assassination. It is not immediately clear if the documents contain any new information. Last month, new documents on the assassination were released. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard says officials searched the FBI and CIA warehouses, uncovering these latest documents.
Police officers from across the state made a stop in Raleigh as part of a bike tour to Washington, D.C. This group is making the journey to honor law enforcement officers in North Carolina who've died in the line of duty. First responders read aloud the name of fallen officers before hitting the road.
Well, this is about our fallen, so we want to make sure that we honor them, but also we want to remember the survivors, so the family members of fallen officers, just to let them know that they have not been forgotten, and we're always going to remember their loved one and honor them.
The group made a brief stop at Deputy Ned Bird's memorial site before continuing on their journey. Participants tell WRAL they plan to cycle more than 250 miles from Chesapeake, Virginia to D.C. for Police Week.
There are some parks closed for yet another summer, leaving kids with fewer options when they need them most.
I just hope it can hear our voices, our kids' voices.
Tonight at 6, WRAL investigates why it's taking so long to address the lead in Durham's parks and when we could finally see a solution.
With the weather so nice this week, we know parks and greenways have been popular places around the Triangle. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with the comfortable temperatures out there and when we're going to see rain.
We'll likely see it this evening, maybe around 8, 9 o'clock, maybe as late as 10 or 11, depending on where you are. So it's not something that's going to be with us for the morning commute. The two things that you'll notice heading out the door, it's a bit more cloudy. It's also a little bit warmer. Fayetteville is mainly cloudy, but look at the airport right here over Terminal 2. A nice mix of sun and clouds making for a pretty sunrise. Chapel Hill, same story there, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant, and Apex looking a little bit gray for us to start with. Here's our next weather maker. This warm front lifting northward. It is starting to produce a little bit of light rain here in parts of Georgia and South Carolina, and we could see just a few isolated showers. The best chance for rain with that front actually comes overnight tonight, and then the cold front moves in behind it tomorrow. So we'll have two different potentials for rain. First of all, for late this evening and overnight, we have a level 1 risk. That means that a few of the storms that develop could produce some wind damage, and then we see that again for Friday as well. The timeline is going to be a little bit different, though. Let's walk through it. We'll start things out here at around lunchtime with increasing cloud cover. Notice at 3 o'clock we're nice and dry, but at 5 o'clock there might be a tiny shower in some of our southern counties. By 9 or 10, we start to see more widespread showers and thunderstorms moving through. That continues overnight. There's 4 a.m., but by the time we get to the morning commute, most of the rain moves out. We may even see a bit of sunshine, but the streets could be a little wet. And then on Friday, about mid-afternoon, we begin to see showers and storms developing. That moves through by around 5 or 6 o'clock. And then after that, we do see a bit of drying out. We'll see a northerly flow that will bring us a really comfortable day for Saturday. So we have a warm front and a cold front crossing our area in the next couple of days. We do have a level 1 risk for today and Friday. We are turning a little drier for the weekend. Watch our cold front slide eastward and take the rain along with it. This is Saturday and Sunday. Sunday late in the day, some of that creeps into our southern coast, but right now it looks pretty dry for us. 60% chance for tomorrow. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all look on the wet side. How about getting outside for Mother's Day? It's actually looking pretty good. Yesterday, we were trending a little wetter. Today, it's trending a little bit drier. And of course, we have graduations. They look good. 7 o'clock Saturday for UNC and 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. Both look good. Taking a look at the forecast for the weekend, 73 on Saturday. We'll be in the upper 70s on Sunday. Coming up, we'll walk through Mother's Day for you hour by hour.
Weekend looking good. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Sure.
Hey, let's start outside. As I promised, in the Bold City, here's a live look at I-885 and TW Alexander Drive. Traffic flowing nicely in all directions this morning. As far as the other major routes in the Bold City and surrounding communities, all delay-free. 85, Highway 70, looking really good this morning. As we widen out the view, all our major routes, for the most part, delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Safety in schools. A new bill would allow some defensive devices in public schools. The security check that would be required to keep the tools secure.
Cutting off cell phones. A group of state leaders is working to improve learning in the classroom. The solutions they're considering to deal with student phone use.
And ahead on today, an in-depth look at the recent tariffs and what they mean for Mother's Day flowers and the ways you can save on those bouquets.
First, here's a look at last night's winning lottery numbers.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
People and their pets are taking interest in the papal conclave.
And Cynthia Erivo makes a TV cameo. Ken Smith is here now with what's trending on our Thursday, Ken.
Yeah, Jeff and Renee, let's start with that cameo. Season 2 of Peacock's Poker Face being released. The series follows Natasha Lyonne's character, Charlie Cale, who can always tell when people are lying. Well, the season trailer shows Wicked star Cynthia Erivo making a cameo in the new season.
Yeah, so basically Natasha Lyonne's character gets into trouble with casino mob bosses for her ability to catch a bluff, and she goes on the run. But then she uses that talent to become a detective for a day, solving crimes in each episode because of her ability to spot those liars.
Is Cynthia Erivo going to lie? We have to wait.
She'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
One more thing I have to add to my to-watch list. My goodness. So how about this? Around the world, people are looking to the Vatican, of course, as the decision to choose the next pope is underway. As it turns out, so are their cats. You may have seen seagulls in the Sistine Chapel chimney. Well, people watching at home shared all over the internet. Their cats were fixated on the birds while they were watching for the smoke.
I think the bird's going to scare this one away. Oh, and off he goes. He flies. We were looking at a live look at that chimney earlier today. Had those seagulls sitting right there on the roof as well. We've seen the black smoke as well come out this morning, scared off the seagulls, and the vote continues.
So cute to see the pets, though, fixated like that. Ken, thank you. Covering Wake County, today Raleigh will have a new urgent care facility. Advanced Community Health will have a ribbon cutting for their first same-day urgent care location. The site will provide treatment for minor injuries, illnesses, and dental emergencies. They will also have an on-site pharmacy for one-stop convenience. The program gets started at 11 a.m. on Capitol Boulevard.
Should be a dry commute for you, but later this afternoon and this evening we have a chance for storms, especially say after dinner time. I'll walk you through it and I'll show you what our severe threat is through tomorrow.
Shot and killed. One man is dead after shooting in Durham. The new details from police this morning.
And those black smoke signals. That black smoke came from the Sistine Chapel chimney just about 30 minutes ago now. What you need to know about the next steps in the conclave process.